Do you like sports? Do you like sports? Do you like sports? Welcome back. This is the Let's Talk About It podcast, episode 9, Bears versus 49ers recap. I'm your host, Don. Now, before we do get started, I do want to say thank you for listening. And don't forget to like and subscribe below. Make sure you ring that notification bell so every time we drop, you get the alert. Now, Bears lose today, 33-22. And this is they're now on a 3-game losing streak. It doesn't look too good for them. There's a lot of bright spots in this game, but at the end of the day, you got to win. You know, all that matters is if you win. It doesn't matter how you do it, just as long as you do it. And unfortunately, the Bears didn't win today. The 49ers go 3-4 on the year, and they're in that tough NFC West division. But as far as the Bears, Justin Fields looked pretty good today. He bounced back from his last couple performances, making great highlighted plays. I'll talk about it later. The big scramble, nice touchdown pass. Showed a lot of glimpses and showed a lot of promise for the future. And he did a lot of splash plays that you've been waiting to see as a Bears fan. So that's pretty exciting that, he's able to show it in the NFL. He's able to show that he's capable of making these plays. Now, before we go into it and talk about the game, you got to think about what happened before the game. Matt Nagy tested positive for coronavirus. He tested positive for COVID. So he's been out the building this whole week. Khalil Mack was out with a foot injury. He didn't practice. He hasn't been practicing for the last couple weeks, but he still found a way to play on Sunday and making big plays on the field on Sunday. So it was pretty surprising to me that they came out and mentioned that he would not be playing today. And I've also heard chatter that he might go on the IR. So as far as that goes, with Khalil Mack missing time, they just got Robert Quinn back from him going on the COVID list. So with Khalil Mack, and then you look at today, the San Francisco 49ers, who were struggling, scored 33 points on you. It's just not a good look, especially going next week, Monday Night Football against Pittsburgh. Let's get into the game. Also, we also got Larry Bourne back. He's a sixth round pick from Missouri. He's a late round pick, offensive lineman. He played guard, but they've been putting him at tackle in the offseason. I noticed he had an ankle injury. He also had a concussion. So he's been out since week 1, but he did come back today. He actually looked pretty good on Nick Bosa. The things that I seen when I was watching the game, he held his own. Nick Bosa got him a couple times, but it was a good first game back for him. Hopefully he can build off of it. Now, Bears game starts. 49ers get the ball first, right? Akeem Hicks is playing. He didn't play last week. So that's a big return for the Bears defense, especially with Khalil Mack out. So they're playing. And first drive, Eddie Jackson, our all-pro free safety, when he had an incredible year a couple years ago, gave him that extension. Didn't think about it twice. He gets hurt. He ends up putting up short, holding his hamstring, so it's a lower extremity injury. So he's holding his hamstring. He has a hamstring injury. He's out for the game. Doesn't come back. We get Tease Tabor. He went to Florida. He's been a journeyman. He's been bouncing around the league. No disrespect to him. He played okay, but considering that you guys gave up 33 points, you got to be better than okay. I noticed on the first drive, Eddie Goldman made a big stop on third down. They end up converting on fourth down. And then on that same drive, they go on a 13-play drive for about 5 minutes, and they miss a field goal. So going on that big drive, covering their 47 yards, the Bears defense makes a stop. Good job, defense. Way to go. That's what you're supposed to do. And they're doing this again now with no Eddie Jackson, no Khalil Mack, making it work. So it's looking good. First Bears offensive possession, we're converting third downs. We got a conversion to Mooney. Khalil Herbert's starting right where he left off, making big runs. I've seen a lot of good things from Khalil Herbert, but I kind of feel like we started going away from the run a little bit. He did get stuffed a couple times. Credit goes to San Francisco's defensive line. But I do think we need to make that our identity and just pound the rock. Just pound it. It's going to help Justin Fields out too. James Daniels had back-to-back penalties. One was a hold, another one was a legal receiver downfield. Regardless of the drive, regardless of the stalling, Carlos Santos kicks field goal. We're up. We're up 3-0. The next possession, speaking of, Eddie Jackson's replacement, Teez Tabor, he almost had an interception. But he played for the Chicago Bears, and as bad as our offense has been, and as much as we've been struggling, these almost had picks. You need to make them picks and try to help your offense out. And that goes into complementary football, and that goes into, we're going to get into that because that's going to sum up this whole entire episode. Now, he almost had a pick, should have had a pick. He didn't. San Francisco continues to drive, ends up with a field goal. So now it is 3-3, tie game. Now, Bears get the ball, another third down conversion to Darnell Mooney, making big plays. We're moving the ball. Justin Fields is finding himself in a rhythm. All credit goes to Bill Lazor, getting the entire offense in a rhythm. So you got the third down conversion to Mooney. You got the big play pass to Cole Kmet. And you got Khalil Herbert running the ball good. So you got the passing game going, running game going. You're making the offense really tough, and it's not predictable. Way to go. That's what you're supposed to do. Justin Fields ends up making a play-action rollout. Beautiful throw to Jesse James in the end zone. First touchdown. It was beautiful. Way to go. The Bears are up now 10-3 in the game. Bears go, stop on my first down, stop on my second down. Third down, they make a big play. Next, DeAndre Houston Carson, who you've heard me just praise about the entire time on this podcast. DHC makes a huge play on third down. Big time play. The Bears needed it. Bears defense holds until field goal. So they haven't scored. It's 10-6. So we got the lead, getting the ball. Ongoing possession. Allen Robinson makes a play. He literally rose for a first down. I believe he rolled about 3-4 times to get there before he got touched. It was a great play. I'm glad to see Allen Robinson getting used in the offense because for some reason, with Justin Fields there, he's targeting more Darnell Mooney. I don't know if it's because more double teams on Allen Robinson. But when you watch the game, you just know you don't see him. It's like he disappears from the game. And Allen Robinson, you need to give him the ball. He needs to touch the ball. He needs to be involved in your offense to get it rolling. Mooney catches a ball for a first down. In the Fields, this game, Justin Fields was scrambling. He was taking off. I don't know if Chris Tabor, the special teams coach that was the head coach for this game, because Matt Nagy was on the COVID list and wasn't allowed to come back. So I don't know if Chris Tabor was in Justin Fields' ear saying, if you see anything, just go. But this game, compared to the others, Justin Fields was out of there. Scrambled for over 100 yards, and he gets the first down. At this point in the game, Justin Fields is 9 for 11 with 82 yards and a touchdown. So it's easy to say that he's in a full smooth rhythm. Everything's going good, and he got 5 carries for 48 yards at this point in the game. Herbert's still running the ball good. Carlos Santos stays hot, hits a field goal. At this point, it's 13-6, and that was his 37th straight field goal that he's hit. So Carlos Santos is on fire. Time of possession, one of the notes I put while I was watching the game, I know in the first half, the time of possession goes to Chicago Bears. They had 19 minutes and 15 seconds compared to San Francisco's 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Almost 10 more minutes of possession on the ball. Now, another note I found pretty interesting, and I'll get to it in just a second. San Francisco ends up making a big play to get inside the 10-yard line. And at this point, the Bears are 6 for 8 on third down, which is amazing. And San Francisco's 2 for 6 on third down, which is great for our defense. And the other note I was talking about was it's the first time in 8 years the Bears have scored on each drive in the half, which was 3 possessions. They have 3 possessions. It was a field goal, a touchdown, and a field goal. And let's be honest, you want to score touchdowns. That's a given. You want to score touchdowns. We're also talking about the Chicago Bears, where recently it's very hard to come by touchdowns, let alone points. So you take the field goals. Now, going into the second half, the Bears get the ball. They deferred when they won the toss. Gets the ball. Field instantly in the rhythm again. Bill Lazor, 19-yard pass to Jesse James. Justin Fields is scrambling. He makes a huge play, 22-yard pass to Marquise Goodwin. Also a holding penalty on San Francisco. Bears are in the red zone. And again, we don't score touchdowns. We score a field goal. Carlos Santos hits his 38th straight field goal. The Bears are up 16-9. 16-9 at this point. San Francisco ends up getting the ball on a third down. Throws a screen pass to Deebo Samuel. He takes it 83 yards. Puts him in, although momentum shifts. Jimmy Garoppolo ends up running in for a touchdown. The kicker misses the extra point. We're up 16-15. Get the ball. Khalil Herbert's still being consistent. He's doing what he has to. Runs for a first down. Then I see Khalil Herbert get hurt. He can't move a part of the side of his body. His arms laying out, his legs laying out. I was literally concerned he wasn't moving at all. And it was a neck injury, which made me even more concerned. He ended up coming back. He returned in the game, but it was a scary moment and it probably deflated, took the air out the drive. Bears ended up punting. It was the first punt, and it came with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left in the third quarter. So again, we're talking about the Chicago Bears offense, and the first punt comes at the end of the third quarter. You'll take it as a Bears fan. You think you're in good shape. Punt it. The 49ers driving. 49ers score and take the lead and get the 2-point conversion. They're now up 23-16. And now the Bears are playing from behind. What are we going to do? How is Justin Fields going to answer this? These are the questions I ask myself. Field makes a big play with his legs. He's scrambling. Herbert comes back in. We needed him. Then you have the play that went viral. You have the play that, I'm not going to say broke the internet because the Bears ended up losing the game. But I'm pretty sure if they won, that play will get way more play than it already does. Justin Fields scrambles, breaks a couple tackles, reroutes, goes the other way to the other side of the field, goes in, breaks one more tackle for about a 20-yard scamper. Big play, touchdown. It's now 23-22. The kid did what every Bears fan worldwide has been waiting to see, that aha, he got it moment. and he showed it in the regular season. It came at a big time. So got Kyra Sanchez out here to hit the extra points and make it tied. He's already hit 38 straight field goals. What happens? Of course, he misses the field goal. Misses the field goal. What do you say to a kid who's made 38 straight? Can you get mad at that? He has one job. What are you gonna do? Regardless, it's a 1 point game. Defense, make a play. Defense, make a play. Your quarterback just made a play for y'all. Now it's time for you to get a stop. Doesn't happen. Bears defense is just getting gashed. Jimmy Garoppolo came back the second half and was just tearing them apart. Big play after big play. Jimmy G marches back down into the red zone and scores another rushing touchdown. Right? Another scoring touchdown. They're now up 30-22. 8-point game. What are you guys going to do, Bears? Bears get the ball. 3 and out. They don't do nothing. They fizzled out. The momentum fizzled out. For whatever, they couldn't get nothing going. San Francisco got all the momentum at this point in the game. And, big play already in the red zone. Another first down by the 49ers. The Bears defense just looked weak. He just didn't. He looked like they didn't have it. They look like they're back to doing the Mel Tucker defense when he was the Bears defensive coordinator. Just give them 10 yards and just let them hit them with the slants. And he just got guys wide open in the middle of the field. And, I see Danny Trevathan out there. I seen a play with, he had Travis Gibson trying to guard a receiver. Travis Gibson is like Khalil Mack or Robert Quinn's substitute. He's specifically in there to rush the quarterback. So at the end of the day, Shanahan had Sean Desai's number and outplayed him and made the proper adjustments in the second half. San Francisco ends up making the field goal. Next possession, Justin Fields just trying to do too much, just throws it up, hits Darnell Mooney in the hands, doesn't catch it, just like last week, goes up in there, pick, the game's over, the Bears lose. Me personally, I felt like this should have been a game that we win. We should have been 500 going into the Steelers game. But I'm concerned, I'm concerned because at the beginning of the year, I was just basically focused on, hey, let's just try to make it into the playoffs. As long as we make it into the playoffs, then it's new life. It's the postseason. Everything changes. So once we get into the postseason, it's about who gets hottest the quickest. Now I'm getting the vibe from the Chicago Bears, like we're just trying to develop this rookie. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the way you guys put it was like we were contending, like we're trying to do something. And now us at 3-5, that's cool and all. 3-5, we're at the halfway point. So there's another half of football. But we're going against the waves, man. Like it's harder, Like these games you have to win. You can't afford to lose this game. You're at home. You put on a performance like that. Justin Fields shows out. The defense gives up 322 yards to Jimmy Garoppolo, who is struggling. And Elijah Mitchell had 137 yards. So, like, when you watch, like, the NFL Red Zone or the Sports Center ticker and you see the bottom thing with the leaders in today's football, the first person you're going to see is Jimmy Garoppolo with passing. And then the first person you're going to see in rushing is the San Francisco 49ers running back. That's disrespectful to the Chicago defense legacy, everything we put forward to that. And as much money as we put into that side of the football, there's no way we should be allowing that, especially to this team who's, before today's game, they only won 2 games all year. And they've been on a losing streak. They've been on a downward spiral. They're picking up and getting better against us when it should have been the other way around. Now, again, I'm concerned about that. I feel like they're more moving towards, the development of Justin Fields, and me being the Bears fan that I am, I'm going to stand by it. But I also want this team to win. I'm hoping, Khalil Mack took off this week, so maybe he can come back next week. I don't know what's going to happen with Nagy coming back. A lot of people are saying that the Bears' offense looked way better with Nagy gone. And like I keep saying, if the Bears don't do anything, and let's say they're 5 and whatever, or 6 and whatever, and they have a losing season, Nagy's gone. Nagy's not coming back. Neither is Pace. So everybody's going to get what they want, which is them gone. But if they make the playoffs with developing the quarterback, you would think that they'll have their job. But, that's far and unknown. So we're not even going to talk about that. Oh. What's next? Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's on the streak. Ben Roethlisberger is bouncing back. Hopefully our defense could bounce back. The unknown is to be determined, though. We got to watch and see how this plays out. Everything that I'm watching, I don't like what I'm seeing because I feel like I don't want to say it's effort. I don't want to say it's effort, but we're just not in the right positions. We're not in the right positions on offense. Even though we dominated the time of possession and we were dominating the third down efficiency, the second half came in and we got the ball back first. It's unfortunate because Justin Fields had a decent game. But again, it goes back to complementary football. You can't not have a good offense, but then your defense is shutting down, right? Because we've talked about this in previous episodes. Offense isn't doing anything, so the defense is on the field. The defense is on the field for the majority of the game. So then comes at the end of the game when you need the stops the most, and your defense is tired. That's not complementary football. Reverse it to games like today. Offense is making plays. We're getting points. We're not scoring touchdowns. We're getting field goals, but regardless, we're putting points up. We put up 22 points. I would like to keep them under 20 points, and we could easily win this game. 17 points, easily win this game. Before this, in 14 quarters, San Francisco couldn't score a touchdown on our defense, and he just ended up going crazy. Jimmy Garoppolo shattered that by himself. But again, it goes to complementary football. There's 3 things in football: special teams, defense, offense. You can't have your defense good and your offense bad and your special teams sus. You can't have your special teams good and your offense bad and your defense bad. You can't have your offense good, your special teams mediocre, and your defense bad. Because like today, when you know it's already hard for you to score points, and then your defense is just getting gashed, getting gashed. That's a big problem. So the game, it is what it is. There's a winner and a loser. We didn't win. We were the loser in this game, and we got to take that. So we'll see. We're going to pay attention and see what they're talking about going into this next game, and hopefully we could pull it out, go 4-5 into the bye week, and hopefully get better. And then the hard part of the schedule is literally out the way. I feel like the second half is more easier than this first half. So I feel like we could pick up speed and build momentum, not peak yet, and possibly get into that playoff position. But it's going to take a lot. This is not easy. We put ourselves behind the 8 ball, and it's going to be hard. It's nothing's easy. This is the NFL. So I'm eager to see what adjustments we're going to make and see what we're going to do and see what this team does, and to be determined on what the Chicago Bears are, because you see glimpses, you see flashes, but then you also see things that set them back. At the end of the day, you have to win these games, especially against a team going into this game only had 2 wins. Now, and that's it really about the game and my thoughts about it. I'm eager to see what Nagy has to say because I'm assuming he's going to come back and be part of the team. And we'll just have to play it by ear and just check it out. And hopefully we can pick it back up. I haven't lost faith in us. Anything can happen. I'm going to be optimistic all the way to the end. But it's not a good look. We got a lot to fix, a lot to clean up. Got to make the proper adjustments. You made it to the end. Thank you. I appreciate it. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I said,